Welcome to the SVG-TV News for Monday, August 10th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. The Modern Medical Complex at Georgetown hosted a blood drive last Friday to sensitize the public about its new on-site blood collection service. The senior laboratory technologist, Kamala Kittels, said the blood bank service at the center began a month ago with an aim to increase the pool of regular volunteer blood donors. Kittels spoke of some medical scenarios which highlight the importance of having an adequate supply of blood.
A scenario what could happen on a day in blood bank. You may have a call from A&E. We have 2 gunshot victims that requires blood. Peas may call you have a sickle cell patient in crisis that requires a unit of blood. NICU may call you, they have a baby that's extremely jaundiced and requires an exchange transfusion. That's a unit of blood. A lady on mat is rushed to theater for a C-section and may have had excessive blood loss. That requires blood. A dialysis patient requires blood during or before dialysis. A chronic alcoholic may come in with upper GI bleed. That's a lot of blood being let go there. A cancer patient is in need of blood and blood products for chemotherapy. A diabetic person, uncontrolled diabetes, is septic and requires amputation of a leg. So I don't know if you're getting the picture. We always have a need for blood and blood products at the blood bank.
A chief laboratory technologist, Elliot Samuel, encouraged Vincentians to become voluntary blood donors.
The reason why the government invested in that mobile blood bank, because we want to traverse the country. We want to go to the Grenadines. We want to encourage people. Don't just come to give blood when your family is ill. Don't just come to give blood when your girlfriend is having a baby. Don't just come to give blood when Miss Graves tap your phone and say, we need you. Make it a priority to become a voluntary donor. We can't generate. Well, science is very dynamic, and I can only speak for now. I don't know what is going to happen 10 years in the future. But for now, we cannot make that miraculous life-saving fluid. It can only be acquired through a blood donation. And I implore everyone here today to take the opportunity to register to become a voluntary donor and to be part of our amazing transfusion program at the Laboratory Services Program. Thank you.
Also encouraging Vincentians to donate life-saving blood was Minister of Health Luke Browne. He said despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the World Health Organization, the WHO, continues to advocate for no disruption of maternal and child health services with a safe and reliable supply of blood.
In order for there to be no disruption of maternal and child health services, several factors must be taken care of, including access to a safe and reliable supply of blood. So when you give blood, you are a healthcare hero because you help potentially with the situation of a mother giving birth to a child. You help potentially with situation of chronically ill patients. We heard from Mrs. Charmaine Munroe in her beautiful green dress this morning, and she spoke about her plight as a chronically ill patient who has to do dialysis on a regular basis and the difference that blood makes for her. It might be someone who has been affected by burns, and these things come home to us because of our recent experience in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including the experience with burn victims who came from Union Island. It reminds us of where our focus ought to be. You could be the individual that saves such a life.
A Prime Minister and Area Representative Dr. Ralph Gonsalves also attended and spoke at the event. In his address to the gathering, he said Vincentians can look forward to a reduction in the cost of dialysis at the Modern Medical Complex. PM Gonsalves said discussions are being held to reduce the cost of this life-saving procedure and encouraged the staff at the diagnostic center to do their utmost to save lives.
Because of COVID, I'm going to reduce it, the first reduction till the end of the year, and then we factor in the reduction in the budget for next year so that we give more money to Modern Medical. The only question is whether I'm going to carry it down to $100 or $150. I told them that before I do that, I want to talk to Idinga to get her own views on it before I make my final decision. And I told them that I will tell them next week, Idinga, because I will see you today and get your opinion, get your idea. But though she has a payment plan which she works, I have told her, however, do not allow anybody to die because they don't have the money for the dialysis treatment. We will find a way. But at the same time, we want persons who are using it to have a responsibility to know that they have to contribute something to it.
Also speaking at Friday's event was dialysis patient Charmaine Munroe, who shared her experience as a person receiving treatment at the diagnostic center.
Mentioned before, I am a dialysis patient, and hemodialysis involves the movement of blood from a machine to patient, and this movement causes some removal of blood and some of the contents of blood to be lost. As a result, I have to always get blood. And hadn't it been for the kindness of the donors, I don't know what would have happened to me. Maybe I might not have been here, but God in His wisdom knows best. I would like to encourage everyone who can to give blood. I am not able to give because I'm a diabetic and a hypertensive and don't know, a renal patient. Who can give blood? Please give. Blood is essential.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines today confirmed one new case of COVID-19. A release from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said this new positive case arrived on Saturday, August 1st from the USA on American Airlines Flight 945 with a negative RT-PCR result. NEMO said the Vicentia national, who is from a high-risk occupation, tested negative for SARS-CoV-2 on entry screening and was quarantined for 5 days in an approved facility, and that the positive result was recorded on quarantine day 5 screening. It said the national, who has no complaints, was placed in isolation in an approved private facility. This is the second traveler on the American Airline 945 flight on August 1st to test positive for SARS-CoV-2, the virus which causes COVID-19. NEMO said 8 other high-risk passengers from that flight will continue in quarantine for a total of 14 days. All of the remaining 93 passengers who arrived on the flight have been cleared, and that all of the 90 passengers who arrived on Saturday, August 8th were in mandatory quarantine. NEMO said passengers who arrived from Toronto on Thursday, August 6th on Air Canada Flight 980 have been released from mandatory quarantine, having all arrived with negative PCR tests being found to be negative of the SARS-CoV-2 virus on entry screening. 3 COVID-19 cases have been recorded, as indicated by 2 negative results of RT-PCR tests. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has now recorded a total of 57 COVID-19 cases, of which 52 have recovered, leaving 5 active cases. The Health Services Subcommittee said travelers from countries with significant COVID-19 community spread and those from occupational groups found to have high levels of COVID-19 are considered high-risk passengers and will continue to be subject to increased screening and quarantine requirements. Travelers from countries such as the USA, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic, and occupations such as oil rig and healthcare workers are considered to be high risk. The subcommittee said it will continue to monitor the ever-changing course of the COVID-19 pandemic and will amend the existing protocols as necessary to keep all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines healthy. The United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has issued a Level 3 travel health notice for St. Vincent and the Grenadines due to COVID-19. The Level 3 Reconsider Travel Notice asks Americans to avoid travel due to serious risks to safety and security. The CDC report, which labels COVID-19 risk in SVG as high, said travelers at increased risk for severe illness from COVID-19 should consider postponing all travel, including essential travel to the country. The notice also advised U.S. citizens that if a person gets sick in SVG and needs medical care, resources may be limited. It should, however, be noted that the CDC has given the Level 3 notice to the majority of countries in the world. Some in the region, like the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic, received a Level 4 advisory, urging Americans not to travel to such destinations. Farmers across SVG will be added to the list of persons receiving support for COVID-19. In their case, however, the support will be targeting recovery from the impacts of both COVID-19 and the 2020 drought. A news release from the Ministry of Agriculture said the drought has been recorded as one of the worst experienced in this country in the last 50 years, impacting both crop and livestock farmers. It said an assessment done on the impact of the drought on the agriculture sector places damage and loss at 16 million EC dollars. The ministry said to compound an already challenging period, COVID-19 has caused uncertainty in the farm workers' timetables and interrupted trade, thus impacting both production and productivity. Further, farmers and traders have witnessed increased restrictions at regional and international borders and delays in the supply of inputs as a result of impacted shipping lines. Minister of Agriculture Soboto Caesar said the government continues to deliver vital support to farmers in a bid to further strengthen this critical production sector during the COVID-19 pandemic. The registration for the Farmers COVID-19 Drought Recovery Support continued today. Registration started at 10:30 at 30 registration centers across the country. Fisherfolk in Beckway have said that they too were badly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and have not yet received any financial support from the government and feel neglected. Another issue raised by the fisherfolk is the need for another ramp to moor their fishing boats.
If we have a rolling here in the morning and we come half of them boat mashing up because sometimes this town and them still in the sea water, we need a next bay sign. We're saying that even at $10 for fisherman and we did here for any time lapse support roads, nothing to do it for us. It's prop here with the guy we like dog boy. To be honest, they ain't treating us good. It's a shame, man. Just so happening is them guys who dive in it to cotton, you know, who making $1, nobody else. You think my wife be turning doing a little, she doing some white people and she still let's get a little pay for I get something for eat when they come.
It's the same thing here with us with fishermen. We have, look at here. We have nothing here. Nothing at all we have here. And well, how much months we here and we sit down, we're not doing anything.
16 boats. What 16 boats is around there for?
And then the government here looking after the welfare of the fishermen. And then just promises and like, we really feel any pinch, but we are not going to walk with a begging bag to go to the Prime Minister and ask him for anything, because if he's the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and Grenadines, he's supposed to look over for everybody's welfare.
This year, no whales were harpooned in Beckway, and the fishermen say this was deliberate because of COVID-19.
I'm a whaler, man. I whale for we whale for 28 years, and this year we couldn't whale because of the virus. Because of the social distance, and the government didn't help us. We didn't catch no whale this year. We try 1 or 2 times, but we didn't really fully do it. We didn't really want to do it fully because of the the social distancing.
The corona, thousands of people there. So for the period, it just the neutral standstill, because when the tourists stop coming, you can get no lobster sell. The fish market, nothing buying there, so.
Meanwhile, the deteriorating main road from Guilford Hill to Uncle Duff in South Beckway is one of the many concerns raised by residents. Area Representative and Opposition Leader Dr. Godwin Friday also raised concerns about the safety of the people. Larissa Pugsley tells us more in this report.
The Bluff Road area in La Pompe, Beckway poses a danger to pedestrians and motorists as the retaining wall continues to break away and lower towards the sea. Recently, we were in Beckway and spoke to some residents who said that they are frustrated with the promises made to have the road fixed. Bluff is on the main road, which is the only access road to Paget Farm, where the airport is located. A landslide took place there several years ago, and over the years, it has gotten worse.
The property right here, and this road is about, let's see, 3-4 years now. 4 years now, like this, with the landslide. You know, the government always coming and measuring every year they come and measure up, but nothing has been done. But duty to do what they're supposed to do, to get things fixed when they not in
the chauffeur running on the road, they had to fix that. How to fix it? Is the drivers that run up and down, is them to see and get at you.
Vehicles plying that route are forced to use it as a one-way lane. Similarly, the road from Guildford Hill to the end of Paget Farm is also in a bad condition.
Most of the time the vehicle has to be driving on one side because they can't drive on the side of the road, you know. And just the other day I had my car parked on the side and I get it damaged because one of the guys hit it and I don't himself know who hit it as yet. Because they don't want to drive on the side of the road.
Another Beckway resident said that it has been over a decade since any major roadworks were done in the area.
Road is San Michel, Podol's wall. You see below Clary Olivier, you see how that coming? It's all in the put. Because when San Michel came, I gave him hay. That's my garage for motorcycle. I had a motorcycle.
My main concern is the road about Bluff. Yeah. And it's like 20 years and nothing done for the people in the Grenadines, especially Beckway.
Area representative and opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday said he has been lobbying for remedial works to be done to the roads, including a permanent solution to the Bluff area.
Most people say, practically speaking, the best option is to essentially cut the road further back, but there is an option to go way over the hill, which costs a lot of money, but that just tells me that there's no real urgency to get this fixed. But if you look at this, I mean, this is really very, very dangerous. There's no way you can fix this temporarily. The road has to be moved further back inland, so because the area here, the retaining wall, has given way. The main road basically has become an obstacle course. You know, it is dangerous at various points. This happens to be the one that is the worst, that most people are scared of, and you know, we keep holding our breath that nothing untoward happens.
2 areas in Beckway were earmarked for road repairs this year. Work is currently taking place in Mount Pleasant. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
And residents of Beckway now have another avenue to secure their savings through a branch of the SVG Police Credit Union, which was launched on Saturday. The SVG PCCU branch in Port Elizabeth was welcomed by Deputy Director of Grenadine Affairs, Herman Belmar, and MP for Northern Grenadines and Opposition Leader, Dr. Godwin Friday.
Loans for consolidated loans, we see the ability to be able to buy a car and a house too. Benefits that are productive to society. Hence the reason why I'm saying I'm so happy to see the Police Cooperative Credit Union coming to Beckway to lend a hand in offering these benefits and the opportunity for people in ordinary society to save and add a little for the good times as well as the bad times as they progress through life.
We've seen the struggles of the commercial banks and the challenges they face in their operations, so they say, and in terms of the services that they provide to our communities. One of the services that you indicated that you're going to provide here, of course, is not just loans, but you're taking deposits to encourage savings and to pool capital to be able to invest in, I hope, other businesses, but also in personal loans.
President of the SVG Police Cooperative Credit Union, Horace Williams, said that they will be working closely with the residents of Beckway to ensure that all are financially secured.
Because this is just one part of a much larger story about expanding financial access and opportunity to people and places that need it most. It's a story about expanding opportunity and shared prosperity. It's a story about people investing in their own communities to build something better and stronger. And most of all, it is a story about people helping people to achieve something greater by working together in partnership.
The office opened to residents from today. Williams said persons do not have to be in the police force to join the credit union. A retirement plan for persons between the ages of 18 and 50 was also launched at the opening of the PCCU Beckway branch. The PCCU also launched its website and online transaction portal.